Society seems to revolve around money and success. This is what everyone wants.
How to become a millionaire step by step.
But money can't buy you happiness. Isn't that what we get told, even by the people who have lots of it?
Someone makes and their level of happiness.
This stuff doesn't mean you're happy.
Money has nothing to do with your happiness.
The way that I have money kind of took away a lot of my happiness.
So why are we working so hard? If we can earn enough money to live, why are we dreaming of anything bigger? What's everyone hustling for when the people who have everything tell us that they're not any happier?
And yet, on a daily basis, I wanted to commit suicide.
And of course, there's certain things in life that money can't buy. But what if it's not the reason why people say that money doesn't buy happiness? What if it's not about how much money you have, but what you do with it that matters? Maybe money can buy you happiness. Maybe you're just not spending it right. Everyone has a relationship with money. Some people believe wanting money is greed and they avoid thinking about it. Some people crave having a financial safety net, and other people love money and think it's the source of all happiness and self-worth. But irrespective of what your relationship with money is, I think two things are true for everyone. One, we all need money. And anyone who thinks otherwise should talk to the person who struggles to pay their bills on time or put food on the table every day.
But when you're broke, on top of these problems, you've got money problems.
Two, none of us would complain if we had more of it. But if you did have more of it, what would you do with it? I always think that I would buy a house, start a family, and travel a lot more. And it's when I think of those things and the fact that I don't have them right now that I feel behind in life. I feel like I'd be much happier when I do have those things, but maybe I was wrong. I don't know what your financial goals are, but if you're in a position where you can afford a roof over your head, pay your bills on time, and afford basic medical care, will reaching any more financial goals make you happier, or will you just be chasing more? Money is an opportunity for happiness, but is it an opportunity that we're wasting? Are we wasting it on the things that we think will make us happy when actually they don't? This is what the research paper from the Journal of Consumer Psychology says. And through countless research studies, they've come up with 8 rules of spending so that money can buy your happiness. I remember when I bought my first car, I was so excited, and I'm not even a car person. I loved getting into the driver's seat, putting my favourite music on, and just having this feeling like, wow, I can't believe this is mine. But it quickly wore off as it became part of my routine to go to work. But then when I had to sell my car, I did feel a little bit sad, and I wasn't thinking about the car seats, the leather steering wheel, or the sound system. I was thinking about the time that I drove up to Manchester with all of my things when I moved here from London. I remember the time that my husband told me that he forgot to buy me a card on Valentine's Day, so I left for work in a huff and a puff, only to find that he had left a card and flowers in the front car seat. It's the experience rather than the material good that makes us happy, because when you buy something, you might be happy for the first days, but the novelty quickly wears off because you adapt to it. Experiences are never the same, so you can never adapt to them. But they also give you lasting memories which you can look back on, meaning they continue to bring you happiness even after they're over. Experiences also make us feel more connected to our identities. If we had the money, we could all buy a car, but your car won't really say much about you. But how many of us will climb a mountain or go for walks in the forest? And it's not the type of activity or experience that matters, it's how engaged you are when you're doing it. This means our experiences don't have to be the typical living your best life ones that we imagine. Any activity or experience where we think about what we're doing will bring us happiness. And this means that you can find happiness from listening to music, reading, going to the cinema, or just going out for a coffee, as long as whilst you're doing it, you're actually present. And you'll be even happier if you share that present moment with other people. It's the connections that ultimately bring us the most joy. I love watching my twin nephews. Not only are they really cute, but they're always so happy, and what I find so interesting about them is that they're always thinking about each other. If one of them receives a gift, they'll give it to their brother to play with first. If one of them goes to the dentist and gets a sticker, they ask if they can have another one to give to their brother. And maybe this is the secret to spending money to be happy too. Even if you're an introvert like me, we're social creatures. We thrive off connections with other people. So anytime we spend money to create or improve our connections, we're going to be happier. Whether that's buying a book for your friend because you think she'll enjoy it, or giving to charity. Scientists have actually studied this and found that when we give to people, our brains light up in the same areas as if we were receiving rewards. It feels good to give. And I do wonder if this is why the crazy rich aren't always as happy as we think they are. Imagine feeling like everyone wanted you because of your money.
I wish I was poor old Amy back in New York where everybody just liked me for me and they didn't look at me with dollar signs in their eyes.
What would you do? I feel like you'd be a little bit more reluctant to give to people until you knew that they had genuine intentions. I think when we can give freely and openly without having to think about it, that's what makes us feel human, and that's what makes us happy. Whenever there's something I really enjoy, like a big piece of cake, instead of having it all in one go, I'll have half now and the other half later. It means instead of being happy once, I get to be happy twice. Whenever we buy things, we get this sweet rush of dopamine, but it wears off. And that's why buying smaller things more often can make us happier than buying one-off larger things. Happiness is more strongly associated with frequency than it is intensity. This means buying a cup of coffee, new socks, or getting your nails done could bring you more happiness than buying that mansion or dream car. That's not to say that we shouldn't spend on bigger purchases, but if you're limited on money, then yes, you can save up and buy that handbag, but once you've bought it, that's it. You have to start saving all over again, that you might miss out on purchasing those smaller, little things that bring you more regular joy. So rather than setting big purchase goals, see what little things you can do to bring happiness more often. Maybe spending money on a babysitter more regularly so that you can enjoy date night would bring you more happiness than saving for that big family holiday. And this again could be why the rich aren't as happy as we think they are. When you have so much money, you're going to start thinking about the big things that you can afford rather than those small little pleasures. When we think of having more money, we think, great, I'll buy that house, that car, or go on that vacation. But we neglect those little things that can make our day-to-day lives happier. I'm someone who loves crispy fries, so I save them until the end so I get to enjoy them more. My husband, when I first met him, thought that this meant I hated crispy fries, so he started to eat mine, and I was not happy about it. But I'm not alone. Putting things off can make us happier. We have more companies now like Klarna, which allow you to shop now, buy later. We have companies that allow us to get next day delivery. But all of this is getting in the way of making us wait, and that's what's going to make us happier. When we get what we want straight away, we might get that dopamine hit, but that's all we get. What we miss out on is anticipation. Anticipation makes us happy. So if you want to book a holiday, instead of flying out tomorrow, fly out in a few weeks. You'll be happy not just from the holiday itself, but having something to look forward to. Thinking about things that will make us happy makes us happy, but we deprive ourselves of that when we get immediate consumption. I have an awful track record when it comes to MacBooks. I broke 3 in the space of 4 years, and 2 of the times it was because I spilt tea on it. At the time, I was so distraught, but I quickly got over it, realizing it was just a material good. Because I'm so clumsy, I'm probably someone who would benefit from Apple Care, but apparently I wouldn't be any happier for it. In the same way that we adapt to good things quickly, we also adapt to bad things quickly. So if you're spending money on insurance and extended warranties, you might be wasting your money because it's not going to make you any happier. If you were to describe your dream home, you might talk about the number of bedrooms, the huge windows in the bedroom overlooking the ocean, and the white marble tiles in the kitchen. What you wouldn't think about is how long it takes to hoover 5 bedrooms, how annoying those windows are to clean, and how visible your hairs are on the white tiles. When you think of that dream car, you think of the leather seats and the roar of the engine, but you don't think about how quickly it burns fuel so that you're constantly having to go to the petrol station. Whenever we think about the things we can buy to make us happy, we think about them in this really abstract way. We forget about those little things which are what actually affects our day-to-day happiness the most. Our happiness isn't measured by big life events like getting married or getting promoted. It's measured by the smaller things like going for walks or calling your friends. So when we spend money, that's how we need to think. How will this affect how I spend my time? We're pretty much guaranteed the best of something now that we have access to so many comparison sites. That doesn't mean it will make us any happier. When you compare products, you're only comparing the things that are actually comparable. You might not be comparing the things that actually make you happier. So yes, you could buy a phone with a bigger screen, but you might be somebody who prefers to have a smaller phone because you can then type one-handed. We're more likely to enjoy something if someone else has enjoyed it too. That's why whenever you're buying, it's always good to get first-hand experience, whether it's where to go on a holiday, what camera to buy, or what book to read. Involve other people in your spending and you'll be so much more happier for it. There have been thousands of studies and hundreds of books trying to understand happiness, and still it's a big mystery. Money might not be the complete answer to happiness, but if you're going to spend your time working really hard to earn money, you may as well be spending it right.